Hey everyone, my name is Kendrick Coleman, and today we're going to take a quick tour through jump squares. Now, jump squares is something I thought of because I had a problem. I had about 6 different VMware environments where there were about 100 plus different applications sprawled out between them, with multiple vCenter servers, vCloud Director environments, applications inside those vCloud Director environments that were then natting out to .coms. It became quite a hassle to remember exactly where everything was installed. The other problem that we face in today's data center world is that nothing has a single pane of glass anymore. Whether it's a backup application, a piece of data infrastructure such as a storage array, any kind of enterprise application, or even enterprise monitoring applications, everything has its own UI. But the good thing is that about 85% of all applications in today's data center, a lot of the management components are all web-based. So being able to access them through a web browser is going to make jump squares something that's really a possibility. So let's go ahead and actually look and see what a jump square is. So a jump square is, if we hover over this, we can actually see that we give it a name, we give it an icon, what kind of application it is, and then we actually see where is this application actually installed. So that's the simplistic form of it. And if we hover over it, we see a little bit more information, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So here we're actually at jumpsquares.net. Jumpsquares.net is the homepage for the SaaS-based version of the tool where you can actually register. And once you register, you can actually get logged in and start creating your own jump squares. But on the homepage, you can see more information of why, some more use cases of actually using jump squares, a deeper look into actually creating a jump square, and some more features that are built in for anybody that's security conscious, knowing about passwords are encrypted, knowing that this is actually built on Twitter Bootstrap, so it actually is a natively responsive website. It's also mobile ready. So we'll go ahead and we'll log in, and we'll log in with my username and password here. Now when I log in, I can see my jump squares homepage. So when I log in, these are things that I've already configured and already set up. Now to kind of just show you the simplicity of what a jump square is that if I click on Synology here and I open it up, I'm essentially just opening up a link. That's typically that's all it really is. That's really simplistic of how it is. But the cool thing to kind of understand here is that, as you can see, that even though this goes to my Synology NAS, I don't have to remember that the admin side lives on port 5000/webman/index-CGI. Now that's not as simple as remembering just say a home page. So knowing that that's kind of masked for me is going to make things a little bit easier. So not only can you just do, you might think, well, why can't I just do that through bookmarks? Well, think of how big your data center environment is, or whether you take care of multiple office locations. You can have a couple hundred or a couple thousand bookmarks. And not only that, you might have your own personal bookmarks. And how do you keep these two different accounts separated? And when you want to have multiple browsers with different kinds of bookmarks, it just becomes too much to deal with. So being able to utilize jump squares also allows you to visualize it. So being able to visualize the actual application itself makes it a little bit easier as well. Jump squares also gives you another cool capability or cool feature, and that is the tagging. Now the tagging is where we actually create categories for our particular jump squares, but we'll look at that here in a few seconds. So let's go ahead and create a new jump square, and we'll say I want to give it a name. So we'll say I want to create an application performance monitoring. Either something already exists out there. Now I can choose an application type. There I have over 250 listed inside this catalog, and we'll go ahead and choose Nagios. Now I need to choose a jump location of where the Nagios web-based application actually lives, and I already put this in here earlier, so we'll say it's at nagios.kendrickcoleman.com, port 8080. Now, as I said before, remembering that port 8080 or a slew of backslashes is really going to be something that's tough to remember if you have to quickly get to somewhere. Now we know that it lives on this particular server, so we'll go ahead and put that down there. Again, this IP address or DNS name isn't really going to mean anything. This is something that's just a string that you put in. It's essentially there to just be able to help you remember exactly which server it's installed in, because this could be going out somewhere on the web, but you need to know exactly where inside of your internal data center it's actually installed. Now that we actually have that part, let's go ahead and choose a tag. We know that this is a network-based application, but we also say that it's installed in my home lab. So I'll go ahead and choose those two tags. Now I can actually choose a description to put in here. I can say that the username is root, and I can put in my password. I can say that it's version 123, whatever I want. I can change this to be able to give me more room to be able to see anything I want as well. So we'll go ahead and create the jump square now. And actually, the one thing I should show you when we talked about inside of here is that I have the ability to have web, HTTP or HTTPS, but also have SSH listed in here. Now, SSH requires the Fire SSH plugin, and this is really going to only work well within Firefox. Within Chrome, it's actually a Chrome-based application. Within Firefox, as we'll see here in a minute, since we're using Firefox, the ability to put that inside of your browser window and open up a SSH session with inside of a tab, it's going to be a very powerful thing. So we'll go ahead and we'll update it back to what it was. And now that we're here, we can hover over it. We can see the IP address and the description that we had put inside of here. So very simple in regards to what we were doing here. Now back on the home page, we can see that this has been put in alphabetical order by the application name. So the application name right here is what has been put in. If we want to go backwards, we can go ahead and hit it again and we'll go backwards. If we want to do it by the type of application, we can do that. So now we can see that both my vCloud instances are together. We can also sort through here. So if we know that we are looking for our Synology and we know it starts with DS, we can figure out exactly where that lives. Now the other thing is we can actually utilize these tags. So these tags are really going to be pretty cool because if I want to figure out everything that's installed in my home lab, I can go ahead and here and quickly find it. Now, we talked a little bit earlier about being able to use SSH. Now, SSH is going to be really good to be able to use to say if you're a networking admin or a storage admin, you need to root into switches or storage boxes or any kind of Linux host or anything like that, and you have a couple hundred or thousands of them all over the world. Trying to remember all those through PuTTY, through those kinds of profiles can get a little cumbersome as well as a little bit ugly. But from here, we can actually just go ahead and open up an SSH section directly from our browser. So being able to do that is a pretty powerful thing, so I don't actually have to remember exactly the profiles or actually have to search through or remember any kind of IP addresses. I can be able to categorize this if this was a switch to say it was a Cisco switch or a Juniper switch, or if it lives in India or Australia. I can create tags for anything, and that just kind of goes to show you we created a jump square. Now I can create a tag, so if I wanted to, I can say this is going to be my demo tag, and I'll go ahead and create it. Now, of course, I don't have any jump squares created for it, but at the same time, you're not going to see any tags on the left-hand side for demo until you actually create a jump square with the demo tag name in there. So there you go. You can actually see demo in there. And when I'm done with it, I can go to my tag side, and if I don't want it anymore, I can go ahead and destroy it. Now, when I destroy it, of course, I have a little bit of a Twitter bootstrap feature here, so I can go ahead and get rid of it. Now going back to the front page, I can see that I have all kinds of different kinds of applications of what I can choose. But what if there's an application, out of the 250 that I put in there that you don't see that you want? Well, you can actually go and you can go to the app types page and you can actually see all the different kind of application types that are here. You can search through here so you can see maybe all the ones that start with VMware. So if you want to search for anything that starts with VMware, you can go through and look at there. But if there's something that isn't there, you want to see something within inside of the catalog, you can actually request a new application type. And when you request this, an email will actually be sent to all the admins on the backside. And once your request has been filled on the backside, it's going to be completed. And once it's completed, you're going to get an email that's going to notify you that it's actually been added to the catalog. So of course, that's where you can actually go through and create the app type request. Now at the very front page, you saw we have the size of the jump square right here. That can actually all be customized for anything you want. So if I want to, I can come in here, I can edit the size of it, and I can change this to say maybe small or extra small. We'll just kind of show you extra small to kind of just give you an idea of what can be done here. So if you think you're going to be using this mostly on maybe a mobile platform, you want to show more jump squares on your particular screen, this is a way that you can be able to customize it to your own liking. Of course, the only other thing is you have the ability to kind of look at your app type requests and be able to update them from time to time if you have something you want to be able to show. You also can manage your account if you want to change your password or if you want to get rid of your account completely. So that's a quick tour through jump squares. I hope you can kind of understand what the power that this brings and the ability to create a new way to bookmark your data center environments, to be able to get out of the habit of creating them all inside of just bookmarks that you save offline, because trying to keep something that's different from your personal side to the business side, and being able to use something like tags, being able to categorize them from locations or types of applications, whether they're Microsoft or Ubuntu or VMware or they live in India. It doesn't really matter. You create tags for anything you want. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you around on Jump Squares.